So here is Matthew Ferruto. First pitch to him. High for ball one. Ferruto is a right-handed hitter, 5'11", 185 pounds, from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. The pitch. Line to the right side, but that will drift foul into the bullpen for Lima. It's 1-1. In yesterday's ball game, Ferruto was one of the solid players for Lima, one of the few, in fact, as he had 2 hits and 3 at-bats. That was 2 of the 3 hits total for the Locos, as he pops one to the right side. Giving chase for a moment was Joe Storino, but he will run out of space as it gets out of play. Foul ball. It's 1-2 now. Not only did Ferruto have 2 hits yesterday, but he also was walked once. So in a game that was dominated by Southern Ohio, he was still quite good. As Winkleman fires one down in the dirt, it ricochets off the chest pad of Burridge, and it's 2-2. The way that Lima stacks their lineup is pretty creative and also pretty smart, as they put some speedsters at the top and they also put them at the bottom. That's why Tyler Grogg hits 9th. As the 2-2 is high for ball 3. So what it does is it essentially gives them 2 leadoff hitters, because Grogg is good enough to be the number 1, but so is Ferruto, so they just separate them to different ends of the order. As the 3-2 is fouled to the right side again.
And they really need to take advantage of that tonight as well, because, like we said, really lack of base runners last night with only 3 hits and had a couple free passes as well. So especially those guys, Ferruto and Grogg, need to get on base, because when these Locos win ball games offensively, those guys are stealing bases and running the base paths well.
Let's do it again. The 3-2. Fouled straight back. The funny thing about yesterday's ball game, folks, was that Taylor and I talked about Lima being the speediest team in this league. Lima being the team you have to watch on the base paths. This and that. We said it all night long. And then out of nowhere, as the 3-2 misses outside for ball 4. So Ferruto is on. The Copperheads had 8 stolen bags yesterday, and Lima did not have 1.
You know what? It was really strange to see, Ryan, because, that's a result of not getting guys on base. But at the same time, when those guys are on base, they're usually so aggressive on the base paths. And, that could be why they only scored one run. But they got to do a better job of just giving those guys opportunities, and they just didn't have those last night.
So now it's A.J. Flores who will square to bunt. He'll put it down perfectly towards first. This will be a tough play. It may be an infield hit. It is. Winkleman tried to backhand it, and it was hit a little bit too hard down that first base line. And Joe Storino and Quentin Alexander didn't communicate very well, because they both were headed to first base. So infield single for Flores, and all of a sudden, there are 2 men on with nobody out for Lima.
You know what? Very nice play there by them. As they probably couldn't have had the chance at second anyway, but nice bunt as well that caused the confusion. Those guys probably could have gotten it together a little bit better on first and second, but Lima in good position here with their 3-hole header.
Schrader is swinging at the first pitch and popping it out to center field. Coates has got it. And now he will fire it all the way to third. Nice throw keeps the runner Ferruto in place at second, and there's 1 away.
Nice quick out for Winkleman, too. He's struggling there, giving up a couple base runners via the bunt single, and then the walk to the leadoff hitter, and gets a first pitch play out to center, and you hold the runner. So great job there, especially against the 3-hole hitter Schrader, who has proven to be dangerous at times.
So that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Mackenzie Hampshire. The big right-handed bat for Lima, one of the more powerful guys in this order. Although they're not a team that's known for a whole lot of power, as Hampshire swings and misses at the first pitch. As I was saying, he's a big guy, 6'2", 245 pounds, from Ashland University. And yesterday, he, along with Ferruto, had the only hits for the ball club, as he was 1 for 4. The 0-1 is another swing and another miss. It's strike 2. In the Copperhead 16-1 victory yesterday, Lima left 7 men on the base paths. They have 2 aboard right now. They're trying to avoid a similar outcome, and that's going to have to start by cashing in right here. Winkleman checks second. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Good fastball that was high and away, and he got Hampshire to chase. 2 consecutive outs for the Copperhead starter.
Huge out there for Winkleman too, Ryan. He goes from having nobody out and 2 guys on. There's 2 guys on still, and there's 2 outs now. Big strikeout there against the guy Hampshire, who has proven to be a pretty decent hitter for these guys. Has some extra base hits on the season, and good out there to get as you get to the 5-hole hitter now.
That'll bring up Jess Posey, third baseman for Lima. First pitch to him is called strike 1. Posey hitting from the left side, 5'11", 200 pounds, from the University of Georgia. Good ball player. As Winkleman steps off and turns towards second, but no throw is made as Ferruto gets back. We mentioned it yesterday, but it's worth mentioning again. Posey's a cool story because his brother is Buster Posey, the player that plays for the San Francisco Giants. As he fouls off the next pitch, it's 0-2.
That's not no ordinary player that nobody's heard of either. That's the Buster Posey, the catcher for the San Francisco Giants, and great pedigree there, and they'd love him to have some of the results that his older brothers had in the major leagues right now for them.
So now Winkleman a strike away from getting out of this first inning unscathed. He's ready. The 0-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. What a beautiful offering on the outside corner. And he works around a bit of a jam to throw a scoreless first frame. Copperheads will be at the plate for their first chance in this one. When we return on the home of the Copperheads, this is Power 105. To the bottom of the first we go here at Bob Wren Stadium as the Copperheads and the Lima Locos are knotted at 0. It'll be James Coates, Dalton Busby, and Jesse Pushek for Southern Ohio. As for Lima, let's give you a rundown of their positioning out in the field. From left to right in the outfield, it's Grog, Flores, and Cruz. In the infield, Posey is over at third. Sanders playing short. Second baseman tonight is Britton. And the first baseman is Hampshire, who we saw last inning. Schrader's behind the dish, and the starting pitcher is Travis Bergen. Here are some regular season numbers on Bergen. He appeared in 9 games. He started 3 of those ball games, worked 24 1/3 innings, gave up 10 earned runs. He had 34 strikeouts, which is quite impressive, to go along with 10 walks, a 2-1 record, and a 3.69 earned run average. And Taylor, it's going to be up to him in large part if Lima is send this series to 3 games.
Yes, it is, Ryan. And you know what? This guy has been pretty effective, especially in his 3 starts that he's made this season. He's got 20 of those 34 strikeouts in those 3 starts. I mean, only 2 of them were wins for him as far as the stat book, but he also got the W in that 15-5 blowout against the Southern Ohio Copperheads a couple weeks ago. So, he's a reliable arm. Doesn't have the best numbers as far as the run average, but hey, you know what? They really need him tonight.
So James Coates will step in and take the first pitch inside. That's ball 1. James Coates, the left-handed leadoff man for Southern Ohio. He's been that for a couple of days now as he takes a called strike on the second pitch. Yesterday, Coates was absolutely outstanding from an offensive perspective. I'll get back to that in a moment as he takes the 1-1 for another called strike. He was 4 for 6 with 4 runs driven in. He scored 2 runs, and he was walked. As the 1-2 is fouled back into the screen. And not only that, Taylor, but the 2 times that he was technically retired, he still reached the base paths, once on an error. In fact, maybe twice on an error. I'm not sure exactly how that worked itself out, but he was all over the base paths, and he's done it again. He rips one into right center field. Backhanded by Cruz, and he fires it in, so that'll be only a single, but already the 5th hit of the postseason for James Coates.
You know what? This guy continues to rip the ball so hard, and Yeah, that's why Coach Nick will switch him to the top of the order right at the end of the season. I know it's not very customary to take a guy like Accardi, who's been good as well, but Coates has just been swinging such a hot bat, especially now in the second game of the playoffs here against Lima, and why not? You got to go with the hot hand at this time.
So that'll bring up Dalton Busby, who's been moved back into the 2 spot because of the injury to Mike Accardi. First pitch to him is a bunt that's laid down, foul to the right side. It was actually popped up into the air for a moment, but it didn't hang up nearly long enough for Schrader to get there. But it looks as if the Copperheads thinking about playing some small ball here in the first inning, trying to put a run on the board. Bergen is ready. Here's the pitch. Busby not squaring this time, and he takes it inside. Yesterday, Busby was 3 for 4, and he drove in a run. The next pitch. Hit in the air to the right side. This may be playable. Hampshire giving chase, but he will run out of real estate as it lands in foul territory. So 1-2 on Busby. And to comment a bit further on his numbers from yesterday, it was great to see him get back on track because he entered yesterday's game in an 0 for 16 slump. But you wouldn't have known that if you watched the ball game last night. Bergen checks first base. The 1-2. Runner is moving. Swung on and missed. Throwdown is not in time. So Busby is out number 1, but James Coates moves into scoring position, and that's just about as good as a sacrifice bunt.
It really is, Ryan. Nice job by Coates there to get just a good enough jump there because it was a close play. I didn't know if he was going to make it, but he used his speed to his advantage, and just like that, you got a guy in scoring position for this guy, Jesse Pushek, who seems to hit RBIs almost every time he's at the plate.
The big lefty from Canisius College, the most valuable player in this league, as he takes a called strike 1 to start his at-bat. Yesterday, he started very slow at the plate, and the guys in the Lima press box kept saying the same thing as Pushek takes a pitch wide. They kept saying you can't put the player of the year at the plate with runners in scoring position. Eventually, he's going to make you pay. And late in that ball game, Pushek picked up 2 hits, and he drove home 2 crucial runs in the victory. As he fouls the pitch back, it's 1-2.
They were absolutely right, Ryan, because even the times he was getting out in the beginning of the ball game, he had some situations where there were bases loaded, multiple guys on scoring position, and just multiple guys on base. And you're right, he eventually did come through, and he really helped these Copperheads open up that game and give them such the sizable advantage they had.
Overall, he was just 2 for 7 yesterday, but keep in mind he started 0 for 4, so he turned it around in a hurry. As he takes a breaking ball inside now, it's 2-2. Pushek was one of 5 Copperheads that were given a award for their performance during the regular season, as he flies one to left field, not very deep. Moving over is Grog, and he will make the catch, so that's out number 2. And one of his teammates who also was recognized for his performance, Taylor Birch, will step in.
You know what, Ryan? It's not only this guy Pushek, but they have such a dangerous 3-4-5 punch. Even if you got Colton Turner on deck as well there, and Taylor Birch with the big power bat had a home run robbed from him yesterday, and just really continued to show off his power as he went 2 for 4 in that ball game.
You can't stress it enough. The production of Jesse Pushek and Taylor Birch has been second to nobody, not even close, as Birch takes ball 1. In fact, those 2 guys have combined for almost 80 runs driven in during this summer, which is unheard of for a 3 and 4 hitter combination. Bergen checks second. The 1-0 hit hard to the left side. The third baseman Posey's got it, and he will make the throw across the diamond. It's a nice toss, and it beats Birch. So the Copperheads go down after putting the leadoff man on. Both teams will actually strand a base runner or 2 in that inning, and we're still scoreless as we move to the second here on Power 105.